All right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? I hope y'all are doing well. But we got the Gun Nation chat. And our kind of topic tonight is, are you a planner? But we can kind of go off of that. I've been saying hi to some people. We'll do a quick roll call. We got DB, G23, Pistol Pete, Mike I, CZ Shadow 2, Lynn Holt, Dirt Track 410, Lake Ozark guy. I jumped on kind of early, so I'm sure more will be popping in. So we'll be saying hi to other people here in a little bit. And if y'all have any questions, tonight's questions, because last week we had Threat Cadre on, talking about his training class that is coming up this month at ETTS. So if you're in Dallas, you can check last week's chat, and I've got all the links. If you want to sign up for his class, I will probably more than likely be there. And for subscribers that when they sign up and they go on and say, Big Johnson Guns and Gear in the notes section or BJGG or whatever, probably going to bring some prizes. So just a little say, hi, nice to meet you thing. So if y'all are interested in doing that and signing up for his class, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, I highly recommend it. You can watch last week's chat if you want details, exactly what he's kind of going to be teaching, what you need to bring, all of those good things. And you can go on that link and find cost for the class. It's a 1-day class or a 2-day class. First day is like battle belt, outside waistband. Second day is concealed carry. So I think it's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm about 80% sure that I'm going to be there, but anything can come up. So hello, Richard Sip and Brian. How are y'all? I'm kind of done watching damn TV anyway. Yes, and the BL drink that Pistol Pete mentioned a minute ago. I was actually a fan of that when I drank beer, but yeah, not anymore. So I see why Kid Rock did what he did. I'm sure y'all probably know about this. It was announced like a couple of days ago. YouTubers were talking about it, but yeah, this woke slash crap is getting out of control. I think y'all all know how I feel about it, and I know how y'all feel about it, but it is what it is. Only thing we can do is boycott Anheuser-Busch and not buy their products, and hopefully they'll wake up and go from there. Got a little drink this evening. Cheers, everyone, to y'all. But I'm going to be opening up this evening to a bunch of questions because, like I said last week, we didn't get a chance to answer a lot of them. I do have a product. Y'all are going to get a sneak peek of it. Before I start testing, or hell, I kind of posted it on the community, but you're going to get to see it in person or what it looks like. And I'll grab this part too so you can see it. Here is the inner part of it. So that's just a keeper on the black part, but there's the inner part of it. Here's the outer part, and I'll let it focus in so you can see it. That is Ariat, multicam Ariat, if y'all are familiar with that. It really doesn't have a lot of green in it. It's mostly kind of like your desert camo. I thought it looked pretty cool, and this does have their new polymer Cobra buckle on it. It's supposed to be heavy duty as hell, so we're going to be testing it out. I'm going to kind of run some different stuff on it. Different colored stuff. Let me know on my mag pouches, my med kit, my dump pouch, all of these other things. Should I run black on it or the regular multicam? I thought that'd be pretty sweet. So I can take some stuff off my other, and this is made by Blue Alpha Gear. This is their new Blue Alpha Gear Battle Belt Light, LITE, and it is super light compared to my other Blue Alpha Gear. Easily adjustable on the inside. It kind of has adjustments here. So I'll get into that in the review, but I was going to let y'all see a sneak peek of it. But I'm kind of thinking I might, instead of doing black pouches, I'll move over the multicam. This has a very slight amount of green in it. But like here's the Blue Alpha Gear keeper. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but it has green in it. But I thought that might look kind of cool on it. and my other stuff. This is just for my belt keeper or for my glove keeper. So, and I bought this and everything. I did not buy the belt. They did send it in. I've worked with them quite a while in the past, or on quite a few things. But I thought it would look pretty cool. So, yeah, they don't have orange. I wish they did. Oh, Pistol Pete. Oh, yeah. Yep, what you do in the privacy of your own home does not concern me. Bald, if they had orange mag holders and no, I don't want a purple holster, but if they had orange mag holders and stuff, I'd probably rock it on this thing. That'd be cool. But yeah, we're going to get into some questions. Whatever y'all want to bring or whatever y'all want to talk about, we can talk about. It's pretty much open this evening. I didn't really have a plan thing other than, are you a planner? And we'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, not just that. Economy's in the crapper. I mean, it's we all know what's going on. And I mean, everybody looks at us when we're used to be like a major superpower. They look at us as like we're being ran by a nursing home, because we are. Drew is asking, any opinions on core essential belts? Yes, I actually wear one every day. I've got several reviews on them. I really enjoy their belts. I have a total of 4 core essential belts, and also I do have a core battle belt that I really do like. I did a full review on it. I had ran it through 2 classes, or no, I'm sorry, 1 class, and I really enjoyed it. And I've worn it, dry fire practicing and things like that. And I've worn it at the range. I've taken it with me at the indoor range, not the outdoor range. Really enjoy it. I'll be probably running this one in Threat Cadre's class, 2-day class. Trying to see. I mean, I wear a core essentials every day. So like for a gun belt, and I do have some Blue Alpha Gear belts. I really enjoy their belts too. They're kind of what I really love is the ratcheting system on the cores. That's a great option because, and I've said this before, and it applies to the gentleman mostly, but if you carry appendix, you can actually just click and open it, and you don't have to take the belt apart to get a drop trowel for the other number, or if you've got to do the number 1, you can actually just take your gun, move it over from the appendix. I move mine over to like towards the thigh, leave it attached, and handle your business. That way your gun doesn't sag or flop out. You can kind of keep it like a hula hoop. And I've got a detailed video actually talking about when you go to the bathroom and all these other things and tips. And that belt is probably, the core is probably the best for that, in my opinion. And I've carried and handled many gun belts. So, but yeah, I think I've been using them for 5 years now. Yeah, and Drew, if you do want to use my discount code for core, it's BJGG10, all caps. I don't make anything on it. I ask Core for it strictly for y'all, and it does save you 10% off any purchase. So if you bought 2 or 3 belts, you're going to save 10% off everything. So it's off your total. So every little bit helps. Oh, wow. Okay. Here's something new. I said he had a core break and they replaced it right away. I've never had one break. What broke on it, the whole belt or the ratcheting system? Because I know on the older models, they already have a Gen 2. I have the Gen 1s and I'm running the Gen 2s. The Gen 2s are a little bit thicker. And I mean, they'll hold up a full-size steel gun, so I haven't had any sagging. But I heard on some of the older ones, the little teeth sometimes could break off. So I'm wondering if maybe that's what happened. He's Bald is saying problem with core is that you have to take it off to fold your pants. Actually, you don't. You can just leave it as a big hula hoop if you want. But oh, the inner liner. Okay, yeah, on the Gen 2, they've actually changed the whole inner liner. So maybe that's why they did go to the Gen 2. I haven't had a problem with the Gen 1, but like I said, Drew is saying, that's awesome. I just got mine. Only have about 2 weeks on it. Rock solid. I'm going to pick up a leather version soon. I'll definitely use your coupon code. I used to have Snake Eater Tactical. Okay. Yeah. And I've ran leather belts and stuff like that before, but I definitely prefer. And here's the thing on the core, I haven't, and I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't tried their leather belts because I really don't wear leather belts. I prefer their tactical versions, like the thick webbing. And I know that if you have to dress up, tuck your shirt in, do things like that, the leather could be more presentable, but I usually wear just button up, shirts with them with the tails out or cut for that. Any thoughts on the PSA dagger? They are really pushing them. Yes. And, I'm a PSA affiliate. So if I sell something for them, I can get a percentage. It's not a big deal, though. But the daggers, yeah, they're really pushing them. The only complaint I've heard from the daggers, and I haven't personally played with them, but I have seen it. And I had a buddy, a friend, who has one. And on the PSA dagger, some of the pins, they would kind of walk out a little bit, so you'd have to push them back in. However, I've also heard that they fixed that and that's not a problem anymore. So we'll see. But, for the price and the lifetime warranty, it's really not a bad deal at all. I think if you were on a budget or you were buying multiple pistols, and this is just my opinion, and I'm just going to say it, because y'all know that I don't hold any bars. I would probably buy the PSA before I bought like the GT3 or G23 or whatever from Taurus, simply because of the warranty. I know that Taurus has a decent warranty, but I would probably buy the PSA, honestly, because now you can get a PSA with an optic cut, slide cuts, backup iron sights, co-witnessed, all these other things for like $300. I'd spend $300 on a PSA probably before I would a Taurus, just with the options that you're getting. Yeah, and they are the reason why the P10Cs or the P10s, Pistol Pete are doing that is because they are pushing the tactical ones that are going to be coming with the suppressor sights and the threaded barrel. So those are coming this year too. So they're going to be pushing those. So the standard P10Cs, P10Fs. They are blowing them out, so you can get a good deal on those. And of course, y'all know that I love those. I've got 2 P10Cs and 1 P10F, and both of my P10Cs are Gen 1s, so they're the original ones with 0 issues. And my P10F is the optic ready Gen 2, and no problems with it either. Never missed a beat. Things run like a scalded dog. So. Yeah, the $100 rebate is a good deal for Smith & Wesson. Let's see here. Lynn Holt, any experience with Dan Wesson blims? I have seen them. It's the same as CZ blims. What they'll have is they'll have like a little omega. If you look at the part number after it, some of them will have a little omega, and that just means there's a blim. I have looked at Dan Wesson's where they had the little omega on it, where it was a blim. I couldn't even find the damn blim. I looked at gun top to bottom. It was a Dan Wesson Wrath. I looked at it from top to bottom, tried to find it. Then the guy goes, well, they put the paperwork where the blim is in the box. And I was like, no, I didn't know that. So he popped it out and he's like, yeah, it's right here. Or they're showing it right here near the grip towards the mag release. And I looked and I'm talking, I could still barely see it, but it was just a little bit of cosmetic, maybe where the coating just wasn't perfect. I still couldn't find it. I was looking at it, and I was like, well, okay, maybe it has a different tint, but I'm like, holy crap, man. And I think you could save I think it was like $200, $250 or $300 off. And I was like, that is a hell of a deal. So, I would go for it. You still have the exact same warranty. You just get a cheaper price. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Pistol Pete. Yeah, they do mark it in the serial number and on your paperwork too, but still has the exact same factory warranty. What do y'all think about the little, well, the little sign right there? I had that made. I thought it looked kind of cool. It's BJGG, but it kind of looks like a BL. I mean, or it didn't have the little hook on the J. It's not an L because it would be backwards. But well, it kind of looks like a backwards L. I thought it looked kind of different. Something different to look at. I have handled the metal competition M&P. I played around with it and stuff, and even the comped version doesn't seem like a bad gun. Seems like a nice gun. I personally just don't have any. I don't have any reason for it myself, but I could see that a lot of people would like it. I mean, it's always great to have different options for different people to use. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just out of curiosity, Simper Cole's asking this: do you have any experience or thoughts on Canic? Yes, I do have experience on Canic. I've shot many of them. Owned the original. What was it? The S. God, it was the original one with that goofy decocker button thing on it. I did not like that button. I mean, they have great triggers. The reliability is there. I've shot the SFX. I've shot the Combat, whatever that Combat Elite was that came out. I shot it. Those guns weren't mine, but I did put a lot of rounds through the SFX, the original one, and it wasn't balanced correctly. It had a lot of muzzle flip. It was real back heavy. They didn't balance it out well, but they've since fixed that from what I've heard on the other SFXs. Then they've got the new Canic, Rival series out. Those are supposed to be really good. I haven't shot one, but I've seen one. And then the metal, Canic, that's a really good option, I think. If you're into striker fire, I mean, for the price point, hell, you really can't go wrong with it. They seem to work. The mags are, relatively inexpensive. Most of them will take Walther mags also if you have a Walther. A lot of them will, not every one of them, but I mean, I think it's a great option if that's what you're looking for and you're looking for that price point. That would be a good option to get. Now, as far as are you a planner, what I was meaning by that is like when you go to the range or, even throughout your daily life, do you plan for everything? Like, do you go, okay, I want to go to the range, I want to shoot, 50 rounds both handed, 25 rounds right handed or strong hand, 25 weak hand? Do you plan everything out or do you just go to the range and shoot with no like real purpose just to shoot? Not that that's bad. Do you always have a strategic plan when you go to the range or is it just going for fun? That was kind of where I was going with that. You know, and in your job or in your life, do you? I know you'll plan out a vacation sometimes because you have to take off or do whatever you're going to do and make reservations, etc. But do you plan everything out? Does it go through your mind and you're like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, not doing this, not doing that, or whatever, or you're just like, hey, let's just go do this, or let's go do that, or you're just kind of fly by the seat of your pants guy or lady. Hello, Michael L. How are you? Bald, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that. And I don't know, I know you've talked about a couple places where you might move, but you're always more than welcome in Texas. I think you were talking about Tennessee and stuff at one time too. Always plan on going deer hunting, but it never goes to plan. Yeah, no, I understand. Richard, when he goes, try to work on 3 or 4 drills. That's good. Yeah, I mean, sometimes when I go to the range, I'll be like, okay, I really want to work on, my speed out of the holster or, things like that. Sometimes when I get there, it doesn't work out. I mean, it's just, they're either too big, it's too crazy there or whatever. And, if a lot of guns are going off, my shot timer doesn't work sometimes on the indoor ranges, or it picks up, like I'll be done and then all of a sudden I'll pick up another shot and it's like, no, I didn't get a 6 point whatever. Um, you know, I mean, I go there with I've always been the type of guy that does things with a purpose. Like when I walk with a purpose. When I plan, uh, customer or whatever meeting, I plan it with a purpose. Um, Not saying I won't just do spontaneous things, but I'm a thinker, I'm a planner, I try to kind of get everything in my head. And back when I played golf all the time and was competitive in golf, it's like I would play 18 holes of that golf course. If I had played that golf course multiple times, I would play like 18 rounds or not 18 rounds, 18 holes in my head while I was going to the golf course. I'm like, okay, the first hole is a par four, playing from the back tees, blah, blah, blah. I want to lay up to the right. I would plan all this and then try to execute when I got out there. I've just always been that way. I think that if you kind of do something with a purpose, you're going to excel at it, or you're going to be better off for it. Now, sometimes when you go, you might have a plan and the plan changes quickly, or that plan doesn't come to fruition and you're just like, oh crap, okay, now I'm winging it. But I do try to plan things out. Even with this new job, that I've gotten, it's definitely drinking through a fire hose, like I've talked about before, because it's so much information, new computer system, new reports, new everything. So I'm trying to plan it out more, throughout the day. Like, okay, do this here, got to take care of that here, blah, blah, blah. Taking good notes and stuff, just try to not just wing it. I want to do it to the best of my ability. So I am kind of a planner. Even sometimes my wife's like, wow, you've already thought the whole thing in your head. And I'm like, well, yeah, I want to have an idea of what I'm getting into, whatever it might be. If I'm working on something at the house, or, redoing a room or whatever, I do always try to plan it out. Sometimes I'll write it out. I'm a big note writer. I write a lot of notes, just to have a game plan. So, and sometimes when I go to the range, I'll jot things down. And when I go to the range, I actually take a spiral notebook with me all the time. I've got it in my gun bag, so I know round count, how many FMJs, how many full metal jackets, how many hollow points, what brands, how many grains, whether it be 115, 124, so I can kind of have an idea, like, hey, this gun feels weird when I shoot whatever grain it is, or feels different. I try to note that down so I can share my round counts. I've got 1,000 rounds through this gun, 2,000 rounds, whatever. Usually after about, 5,000 rounds, I don't keep up with it too much. I don't really write down and plan all my maintenance on my guns. Now, as far as my dots, I shoot a lot of dots, so I will change the batteries. I've got tons and tons of 2032s, so I will sit down like on my birthday and go through and change all the batteries in the dots. I've done that multiple times for multiple years. Just kind of plan accordingly. Not that the batteries are dead. It's just I don't want them to go dead. And some of them are even shake awake, so they've just been sitting there. But Lynn Holt says, like to do a cold start drill at the first of a range session, threat bang, then work on some fundamentals. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. One thing that I always do, and let's see, A-Dubs is saying go with primary goals, but usually have a secondary and goals that will rotate up once the primary is satisfied. Yeah. Pistol Pete saying if you get to point A to point B and you don't know how you got there, then you're still lost. Yeah. I mean, like I said, and I see people just walking around through life and they look lost. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just like, how in the hell did you get your driver's license? Because I'm beside them and either they're texting or farting around or daydreaming or whatever. But, some people, I wonder how they put their pants on. I know we all put them on one leg at a time, but some people amaze me still to this day. I like the dot torture drill. Yeah, and that's another thing that I do. And I don't know if y'all do it. I actually, and I've shown this before, I always have people, say, hey, what do you do for, like, do you do dot drills and stuff like that? I'll show you here. Well, there's a couple of personal ones here, but There's one right there. That is a Sage Dynamics. So, and this is a dot. Basically, it as you shoot, it checks if it's going up and down, so you're not going left to right. And that one's actually really good. This one he recommends doing at 10 yards, so that's a really good drill. So I've done that one before. I just print them out on paper. Here's another one. I keep them on my phone, so I can just print them off on a wireless printer. Man, I've got like tons of them in here. Here's one of Threat Cadres. So I, just keep these on my phone and I can print them off. I've got tons of them. There's another one. It's a focal shift drill. There's a dot torture. So you can actually download these from a lot of different websites for free. I mean, hell, here's B8 targets. You can download them for free and print them off. And then there's another one. This one's the consistency drill. And I've actually emailed these to people, texted them to people, shared them with people. I mean, they're not my drills. I don't make them up. But like I said, if they're free and out there, sometimes I'll take advantage of them. And Sage Dynamic, I mean, a lot of these people offer them for free. Just go get them and download them. Huey is asking, Big Johnson Guns and Gear, I expected the dot to float about from iron, but it also seems to be slightly offset left of the front side as well. Is that normal, a focal plane illusion type thing? What are your thoughts? Huey, it is normal. A lot of people think that you can co-witness, if you're just setting it up to go to the range and verify it, you can put it on the top of the post, et cetera, and then go to the range and verify it. But sometimes it will be left of your front sight or right of the front sight, sometimes a little higher. Sometimes I've even seen them where they're just a tad into the front sight. Sometimes that's just the way it is. So not saying it's bad. I wouldn't go and adjust your front sight and all that stuff, but you really don't adjust a dot to your sights. That's just kind of giving you a game plan or an idea. So keep your dot truly sighted in, and then your irons will just be there. But that is totally normal. I've got several of them. I can show you where they are not completely balls on, but it doesn't matter to me. Let me catch back up here real quick. Tim is running El Presidente, few reps, build up such as a Presidente with pistol, some drills with AR. That's a good idea. I mean, I do a bill drill. Y'all have even seen me do bill drills in videos. I'll just like just ripping it off. Oh man, with the color choices, I think the platypus is targeting the trans community. It's definitely letting you make your gun your own. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I've seen some crazy ones. Yeah, they're definitely doing some crazy colors. But a lot of, I mean, from what I'm hearing, that gun is getting good reviews. So. Rich B, new to red dots. If the dot is zeroed in at 10 yards and dead on, should it also be set correctly at 25? 10 to 15 yards are going to be pretty damn close at 25. I kind of do mine at 15. Now, 10 to 15 is fine, but I kind of set mine at 15, so it's kind of a happy medium between the two. If you're running 115, you're not going to have a problem. You're not going to have any drop at 25 yards, so to say. As you shoot up closer, you're going to have holdover. Most people know that. But, 10, if you're comfortable with 10, if you're comfortable with 15, whatever. I tend to pretty much set mine at 15 and then verify at 25. That's just me. But, hell, I know people that zero dots at 7 yards, 10 yards. I don't really think it matters. Whatever you're comfortable with and you've verified it, I think you're going to be fine. Hey, what's up, Floridian? How are you? Hope everyone is having a wonderful night. Yeah, I have the chevron too. I don't have the green. I have the red chevron, and I like it. I mean, especially with astigmatism. It seems to be really crisp and clear for me. I mean, I wouldn't say perfect with my stigmatism, but it's definitely better than some of my dots. But I think that's going to help a lot of people, especially with the big ring on the outside to help you center your pistol if you're new to dots. Coming out of the holster and you don't see your dot or your chevron, but you see the top of the circle, it'll help you pull it down really quickly. Um, and then you can turn off the big ring if you choose to once you kind of take the training wheels off and you get used to dots. I mean, I think it's a great option. I really like it. I can't buy a gun called a platypus. I'm just not going to say I'm going out to the range with my platypus. I think that is a very weird name, personally. I don't know if they did it, but I mean, if you think about it this way, if you're in marketing and things like that, okay, they picked a crazy name. So, what are we all doing right now? We're talking about it. So, bad press is good press. I mean, y'all have probably heard that saying. If you're talking about it, if you're talking about something, they're selling it, whatever it might be. So, if it's a weird name but it works, so be it. Stealth Arms, I think they should have went with like calling it an SA or something like that, or doing something different. But yeah, platypus is very weird. I think that's a strange name, but like I said, that's not a warrior type animal that I would consider, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, exactly, Gabriel. There's no such thing as bad publicity. We've all seen that, except Bud Light with what they're doing now. That's definitely bad publicity in my book, but whatever. I don't know who came up with that game plan, but man, they must have been smoking something that day. SYT, yeah, there you go. Yeah, and maybe I was even thinking about this. I was like, man, if it really gets big, maybe they should vote on a name change and like whoever comes up with a really cool name that they all agree on or something, maybe give them a free gun. I thought that would be kind of cool. If they would have came out first and would have given them a lot of press, and I thought about this, and I even told a buddy of mine that has ordered. He ordered one of them. We got a delay for some reason. He has ordered one of them. So he's already placed his order. He's going to be getting it. But I said, man, what they should have done is said, hey, we've got a new gun. Here's what it's about. Blah, blah, blah. It's just called the SA right now because we're Stealth Arms. We're going to be naming it. How about you send in your names? The best one, whoever names our gun, will win it or will win one. And I thought they should have done it like that. And I mentioned that to him too. And he was like, oh, yeah. Uh, Yeah, but that's exactly. I own them, Brad. I've got a trash panda, and that's the thing about Q. Kevin Brittingham is very brilliant if you think about it. He's got the full Nelson, he's got the cherry bomb, world's best trigger. I mean, he's got all these, side chick. I mean, if y'all follow Q, um, the Thunder Chicken, the Trash Panda. I mean, he's got all these crazy names. But if you think about it, they're very you can remember them. They're very memorable, I guess. Um, and it causes controversy and causes people to talk about it. So maybe that's what they did the platypus for. Because I would have never, ever thought of a gun having a name platypus. You hear like scorpion and cobra and all these other kind of things. All right, Mr. Armsman has made it into the chat. Good evening, sir. I hear the name was a joke in the beginning, but they got used to it. They couldn't think of a different name. They admit it's weird. Heard it from the co-owner. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. It's probably like Kevin, like we are talking about with Q. And just so y'all know, if you need a holster and you're thinking about one, the Armsman actually makes holsters. So go on to his website and check out his offerings. And if he doesn't have one on his website, shoot him an email. He's got some that he actually makes that aren't listed on his website. So if y'all want to check out his goodies, please do. Mr. Mystical Potato Head Groove thing, yeah. No, Armsman's probably working in the shop building holsters. Man, that guy's a machine. Obviously, Grand Power Excalibur is the best name for gun. Yeah, I mean they might have came up with a cool name. Excalibur is a cool name. They just don't sell any of them. Except you bought one. You're probably the only person. I'm just joking. They are nice guns, and I shot balls. That Q that X or the not Excalibur, the Grand Power, that Q100 or whatever. That's kind of a weird name. You know, the other one that you had, or I don't know if you still have it, but I think I shot that one too, didn't I? But yeah, I mean, a lot of people come up with the crazy stuff, and they'll come up with these little catchy sayings and stuff like that, and then they just catch on and run with it. Oh, and supposedly I heard this a long, long time ago. Snap, crackle, pop. You know, for like the Rice Krispies. That was a joke that they were like, oh, they snap, crackle. Some smart ass in a meeting said, oh, well, they do snap, crackle, and pop. And that's how they named those three little characters, those little elves. They named them Snap, Crackle, and Pop from some board meeting where they were all sitting around listening to Rice Krispies when they poured milk in them, what they made noises about. And that's how they came up with that. So, I mean, anything, Samurai Edge. Okay. Samurai Edge. I've never heard of that, but that's kind of a cool, like samurai sword and the edge of it. It's kind of different. But yeah, when you're naming things, I know like Harry's, Armsman, they all come up with names even for holsters and things like that. The slant and this and that. Some of them are kind of cool, and then some of them are like, where the hell did you come up with that name? But if it sticks and you like it, roll with it. I used to have a buddy of mine that he used to get a new vehicle every year, and he would name his vehicles, and he'd come up with these really goofy names. And some of them were just like the Silver Bullet because it was a silver car or silver truck. But he'd come up with some of these funky names. He even named one of his vehicles Charles. He's like, oh yeah, I drove Charles today. And I'm like, you drove Charles? What the hell? And he's like, oh, that's my dually. And I was like, Charles? Where the hell did you come up with that? He's like, oh, I don't know. I just thought of it. So I'm like, okay. So whatever works for you. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, I've also been, I wanted to do a follow-up or let y'all know about it before I did the review on it. I have been running that Core watch, the Eclipse. Core sent that to me, and I don't know if y'all know, but I'm a big watch guy. I've got, just right there, I've probably got 25, well, yeah, there's probably about 25 watches over there on my watch stand or watch holder. I love watches. I wear a watch every day, and I don't own any Apple watches before you ask. I'm not a gadgety guy. I'm kind of an old school guy. Some of them are G-Shock, cool looking G-Shock. Some of them are high-end watches. Some of them are basic watches. But I'm a big watch guy. So I wear different watches like every day. However, for the Core, I've been wearing that thing like a lot. And I've got some information on it. I did the review on it, the detailed review, just going over specs and everything and the initial kind of box opening. I've been wearing it for, what is it now? I think maybe over a month, pretty consistently. And I'll be doing a follow-up on it. I've got some goods and some bads. So I'll tell you the good and the bad. I mean, they don't, like anybody I work with, I'll tell them straight up, if you're going to send me something, I'm going to tell you the good and the bad. And they're like, that's cool. So I've got some bads on it. So I will be, going over some things. But if you're thinking about it, for what you're getting with that watch, the quality, the sapphire crystal, the 300 meters, which is pretty unheard of on most watches, it's a very nice engineered watch. It just has some faults. So I'll go over that and let you know. Yeah, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't need a watch. I have a phone. I can look at it." But I don't dig my phone out to see what time it is. I just look at my watch. Yeah, I own a watch, but can't watch it without my glasses on. No, I get it. I get it. You know, I've got some with like really, really dominant hands, and then I've got some with shallow hands and stuff like that. So we'll get into some of those. Let's see here if I'm missing anything. I'm trying to catch up. Hello, GB58. How are you? I get it. Well, I'm trying to open this up. We've got a little bit the smartphone replaced most watches and cameras and brains. Yeah, I agree with you, Pistol Pete. Totally agree with you. Any Glock watches? No, I don't have any Glock watches. I don't think they make a watch, but hell, somebody could probably stick Glock on anything and people would buy it. Hello, Steve L. How are you? I know Steve L is local. Steve, I'm going to be taking the Threat Cadre class out at ETTS on the 15th and the 16th of this month. If you want to sign up for it, the link is in my last chat when Threat Cadre was on here. You can go in there and sign up, and the notes put BJGG. And if you show up and you've put notes in there, I am going to be giving away some goodies. And they're nice goodies. They're not junky goodies. I don't do giveaways. But I don't really do giveaways, but these are some nice ones. And I know what you have, and you could have something pretty nice. Random Rob channel. Okay, I don't know Random Rob. I watch oh gosh, what is it? Nico. I like Nico. He's pretty funny. The watch guy. I do like his. Fina is asking, Big J, do you ever purchase any weapons online, send to your FFL? Yes, I have in the past. I've done, in my whole lifetime, I've probably done a handful. But yes, when I ordered my Masterpiece Arms DS9 Commander, I bought the DS9 Hybrid from Texas Gun Experience, but when I ordered the Commander, the smaller version, I ordered, through Masterpiece Arms, and they shipped it to Texas Gun Experience. So that was probably the last one I did. I've done a couple of custom things. Fire for Effect built some things for me, and I had to ship them in. So I did them at Texas Gun Experience also. I've probably done maybe a handful and a half in my whole life. Most of the times I try to buy local so I can support local. However, I do like to support Texas companies also, if possible. So that does happen. Let me catch back up here. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Greg is a great guy. I mean, I'm not just saying that to try to hawk a class. I'm not. That's not what I'm about. I hope y'all know that. I just, I've been to the range with him several times. The guy can shoot. I mean, you can tell that he really knows what he's doing. So, and I've listened to his talking. I've listened to his planning, like we were talking about earlier. Um, he teaches a lot of military, law enforcement. I have talked to someone who took a class with him, and they really, really appreciated it, learned a lot. So. Let's see here. Let's catch up. I got way behind. Sorry about that. IBG is asking, hey, Big J, a while back you asked, what would be your ultimate choice for a firearm? I've decided it would be an Infinity along with their customer service. Yeah, Infinity is no joke. I think I've shot Bald's Infinity. I've shot Rick's Infinity. I shot a custom Infinity at Texas Gun Experience that someone had. I mean, they're super nice guns. I mean, you can get any color, any texture. I mean, you can pick everything on the gun, which you can with Masterpiece Arms as well. However, Infinity, it's even more detailed, like cutout grip, with their logo, no cutout. I mean, you can just get crazy with that gun, and they're very nice guns. I mean, the one that I shot at Texas Gun Experience, this guy custom ordered it, and I mean, he had every bell and whistle on that thing. It was super nice. So they're very, very nice guns. Highly recommend them if you're thinking about one, and you've got the money. I say do it. Did you mention meaning of Big J66? Okay, up there, I know. And what's funny is that is on dim. That is the dimmest. If I turned that light on bright, it would be glowing. I mean, you couldn't even read it. It actually says big BJGG. Those are actually G's. It's in that blocking letter. It's not 66, but I could see where you would think that, but it means Big Johnson Guns and Gear. I had that made. It's one of those things where you can go in and tell them what you want and make it. It's not expensive. They're actually very, very inexpensive lights. But I just wanted something different, to hang up there. And I'd been thinking about doing one of those lights, and then it came up, and I was like, oh, hell, why not do it? Clyde. Okay. Clyde has the Holosun 510C, but thinking about trading for the Vortex Huey -1. What's your thoughts on it? Okay, I own the Huey, the latest generation, the lighter generation, which is still not light. And then I have shot with the 510C, and I've shot with the 512. Here's my opinion. The one is a holographic. If you're familiar with, one is holographic and one is a dot. The Holosun is a dot. The Huey is a holographic. Holographic's a little grainy, a little blurry. But of course, when you're looking at your target, it just kind of gets in the way, but it's still grainy, still blurry a little bit. And then the other one is a red dot, so it's going to be, crisper. You also have the 3 reticle options, where on the Huey you don't. You just have the one donut to death, and then you have the little triangle at the bottom for your subsonic. And I have the Huey on a 300 blackout, so I've got it set for super for the center, and the lower is for the subsonic, the 220 or 200 and below, or 200 and up. This is my opinion. Not saying the Huey is bad. It's actually good. But the Holosun Red Dot 510C, the battery will last forever. It'll last forever. The Huey takes the CR123. If you leave it on, and it has an automatic shutoff, but if you leave it on, then turn it on, leave it on, I think it has a 10-hour battery life, or 10-hour off and on. It chews up batteries. All your holographic sights chew up batteries where your red dots don't. Plus, the Holosun has shake awake. The Huey does not. Also, where the buttons are in the front on the Huey, if you run a magnifier, it's hard to get to the buttons to turn it on and off and up and down and all that crap. I don't really like the buttons on the front. I wish they put them on the side. But the Huey is pretty much indestructible. Holosun is very durable too. But for speed, lightness, all of that other stuff, honestly, I would stay with the Holosun 510, and it's actually a lot cheaper. That's just me. Not that the Huey's bad. I like it. I'm not getting rid of it. And it has a lifetime warranty on it. And it's actually, it's not Chinese made. Everything is USA except the reticle. The reticle on the Huey 2, the Gen 2, the reticle is made, where is it? It is not Canadian. Shit. Not Switzerland. It's made somewhere else, but it's not made in China. So everything on the Huey 2, the Gen 2, is made in the US except the reticle. But it's not Chinese made on the reticle. So if you're looking for something like that, then I would recommend the Vortex. But you can't go wrong with either one. It's just whatever one you want. Hello, David. How are you? Huey, that's what they call it. It's called a UH1. That's what the nomenclature is, but everybody shortened it to Huey because of the abbreviations. I know, Fina, it's actually big BJGG, but it does look like, I'm sitting here looking at it. I was thinking that the whole time. It looks like BJ66. I don't know what the hell that is. But a lot of people, I mean, I could see where it would looks like a damn 6.6. I picked those letters because all the rest were those cursive-y things, and they looked weird. David, there are so many options for good 308 AR-10s. It depends on the money that you want to spend. I don't have any experience personally with the Ruger SFAR or Stag Arms. I've got experience with others. Um, I mean, I love my Lancer 308 L30 heavy metal, but it's not cheap. It's very expensive. It just depends on what you're looking for. The 308 is a different animal because there's really no mil spec like there is on an AR-15. On a 308, there's really not a mil spec. So if you're going to get something, I would recommend getting it from a manufacturer where it's already built, or building one, but with all of their parts. Like stay with, the upper and the lower so they all match up. Because if you get different uppers and lowers, some of them do not match on 308s. So just be aware of that. But I highly recommend a 308 or a 6.5 if that's what you want. But I do definitely try to stay with the NATO type rounds. Not saying 6.5 won't ever be there. It might already even, somebody said it was attempting to be NATO approved, but I haven't heard that. So don't quote me on that. But I'm definitely a fan of 308. Let's see here. GB58, how long has that light BJGG been there on your videos? This is the very first night. I just got it. I ordered it, took a while to be made, and this is the first night y'all are seeing it. So this is it. The Huey and the Platypus need to get together, yeah. Oh, here we go. 308 Platypussy. Yeah, there you go. Okay. A Huey puss. Yeah, LWRC makes really good stuff like Ozark Guy, but you're going to spend some money. That's just like my Lancer. They're not cheap. I mean, that Lancer that I have is like $4,000, 4,300 or something like that. They're not cheap. And hell, not to mention the scope that's on it. I mean, mine has like a $3,500 scope. So, you're going to spend some money on it. I'm not saying you have to get a $3,500 scope or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but if you're going to invest in something and you want and I have other 308s, but that's probably my biggest high end full size 308. And then I've got a 12 and a half 308 that I love. I mean, that thing is super light, super fast. I mean, it's a great, great fun gun. Have I ever tried the EOTech EF or EFLX? Doesn't have shake awake, but does have a top loading battery. What are your thoughts? I have not personally. I have waited to find one. Nobody around here has one yet. Now I haven't been to Texas Gun Experience in a little bit because I've been super busy with work. But um, I mean, I think that could be a great option. I just haven't personally been behind it or even looked through it. So I can't say, hey, with my astigmatisms, it's crisp, it's clear. I can't say that yet. It does have a standard footprint. I think it's a Delta Point Pro footprint. So there's nothing wrong with that. I think could be a great option. I mean, EOTech makes great products. So, I don't think there would be anything wrong with it, but I don't know. And I'd never speak for what I don't know. That new Vortex Defender dot is a major disappointment. Refresh rate and battery doesn't last, possibly just mine, as I haven't seen any negative reviews on it. Okay, well, what's really funny is I was talking to a buddy of mine this morning, and y'all all know him, but I'm not going to speak out of turn. But there's problems. So I'll just leave it at that. I'll let him do the review so y'all can see what he's said about it. But yeah, there's definitely. And it's not due to what you're talking about. It's actually a different issue. But yeah, there's a problem. Not saying on every one, but I think he bought 2 of them. So, hey, Russ Dennis, how are you, buddy? Hope everything is good. I changed my name to this last week, GB58. Um, what was your name before? Because I just don't recognize GB58. I probably recognize your old name. Yeah, I figured when the EFLX came out, it was going to sell out quick. Yes, Floridian. It is good to say that. It's very good to say that. Very blessed, and again, I appreciate all of y'all's support and all of your well wishes and prayers. I mean, again, y'all just don't know how much I appreciate that. And I'm not just being a goober. I'm being sincere. Gregory Blevins. Okay. Hell, okay. You know what's really funny is every time, like when I say hi to everybody, I'll say like "Hello, GB." Like when I'm texting back and forth, because I always shorten everybody's name to abbreviations. So yeah, I just didn't recognize the GB58. So yes, I recognize your other name. So yeah, I always abbreviate everybody's names. I've just always done that from football, business, everybody. It's just MJ. Uh, JB, whatever, whoever has names, I always abbreviate everything. So if I say hello, DW, that means David Wilcox. So don't be like, who the hell's DW? But let's see here. We are getting close. Any other questions or comments y'all can think of or opinions you want? If I've played with it, I will definitely tell you. If I haven't, I will definitely tell you. I don't BS anybody. Again, I will be doing pretty much 80 to 85% sure I will be doing Threat Cadres class on the 15th and 16th of this month. So if you want to sign up, go to his website. There's a link on the last chat that he was on. He was on last week's chat. You can sign up for it. In the notes, you can put, BJGG if you sign up for his class, and I will be there more than likely. I mean, I'm like I said, almost positive sure I'll be there. And I'm going to bring gifts for anybody. I'm going to verify with him if somebody signs up with the name on there. There will be some good gifts. These are not cheap, shitty gifts. They are good gifts. So just be prepared. They're over a C note. And if y'all know what a C note is. So they're going to be nice gifts. And it's strictly for me meeting you in person, giving a gift to you, saying thank you for being a subscriber. I don't get anything off of this deal from Threat Cadre or any of that. That was just my way of, getting people to come to his class and me giving away stuff. So it's going to be some nice stuff. Not cheapy, like here's a sticker or here's a patch. It's going to be some cool stuff. So, and I will be in it. I'll be fuddling along through it myself. I'm not a pro shooter. I'm not a pro tactical guy. I'm going to be there absorbing things like a sponge, trying to learn as much as I can to better myself. So I'm going to be soaking it all in just like everybody else is. So I think it'll be a fun time. Really looking forward to it. I'm going to be testing out this battle belt from Blue Alpha Gear, their new one that I showed earlier. If you want to see it, it's the Ariat. That's the color I chose. So I'm going to be upfitting this one and getting it all set up. I will be running probably the Staccato P with the Threat Cadre comp for the outside battle belt. For the inside, I'm thinking the C2 with my Threat Cadre comp. I pretty much carry that almost every day. However, the last 3 days, I have carried the MPA DS9 Commander just for something different. It's kind of the same, but not. And that if y'all haven't seen that, they did that one for me custom and put BJGG lasered that on there and carry on. I was pretty impressed with the way that one came out. It's a really nice gun. So I do carry every day, just like other people do. There's some crazy stuff going on right now, so you got to protect yourself and your family. But yeah, I'm excited about doing it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Bald, I will give you a hug. How about that? Matter of fact, the first time I met you, remember we shook hands and gave a bro hug. I don't know if you remember that. It was several years ago. What was that, like 6 years ago? So, man, I'm definitely I'm secure in my manliness. There's a difference between a bro hug and a different hug. Um, which slides, Lynn? I've had several companies mill slides for me. Not sure which company you're talking about. I've had Vulcan Machine Works, Slide Work Engineering. I've got them all on my channels. If you find the particular gun, there's usually a link below who did it. I try to, share that information and put it down there. So it's either in the description or in the comments. Fire for Effect, however, they did close. Just so y'all know, who did my custom Shadow 2 and a couple of rifles for me. They did recently close. So, what's up, Norwood? How are you, man? Hello, Mook. How are you? Let's see here. Joseph is saying, I appreciate the chat. In your opinion, how important is the slide to frame fit on a 1911 2011? I have noticed some guns are looser than others, and you can hear them rattle when you shake them. Yes, on 1911 and 2011s, you want your lockup really tight. You don't want really any side to side movement. There's a lot of guns who have that. They will still run, and they will still run fine. If you've got a bushingless barrel on the front, that can affect your accuracy if you've got a lot of play in it. I like a super tight 2011. I mean, on mine, I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds through mine. Probably, gosh, in my staccatos, I know I'm on my P. I'm way over 5,000 to 6,000 rounds. I've got the book in the bag. I don't have it right here at my desk, but and then on the newer C2, I'm definitely over 5,000 rounds already. Well, I'll take that back. Let me rephrase that. I know I'm over 4,000 rounds. My MPA DS9, definitely over 4,000 rounds on it, and my DS9 Compact or Commander, I've got about probably 25 to 2,700 rounds. It's in my book. Um, and even with that round count, those things are still tight. Um, you know, if you have a custom built like Infinity, or some higher end, those are even tighter. And some of them do require a break in. But yeah, if it's loose and sloppy, like some of the old 1911s, some of the Colts, that were in the war and stuff, some of those things are like rattle traps. So, not saying they're bad, they're still going to shoot, but you are going to have more play. Not that it's bad, but that's, it is what it is. Thumbs up for Staccato P. Yeah, they're great guns. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Do they make a battle belt with hearts? I haven't seen one. I don't think they do. I know they have a splatter painted one and some other stuff, but Clyde said he put his hands on a Prodigy. Yeah, I mean, the Prodigy's not a bad feeling gun. I think they might have worked out the corks. I know when they first came out, some of them had some corks. I had buddies who had them that had some issues. And a couple of people have already rebuilt them with the EGW fire control units inside, and now have perfect running, or now they run great. They might have corrected some of the issues. It's a budget 1911, or excuse me, 2011, or 1911 double stack, I guess, if you want to say it like that. But I mean, I'm not saying they're bad guns. This is just me, okay, and I'm just talking, so just let me talk. A lot of those type guns have a lot of MEM parts. If you're not familiar with MEM, it's metal injection molded. Okay, so it's not forged, it's not billet, it's metal injection molded. In the past, long time ago, I had metal injection molded parts. One of them was a SIG that broke. One of the hammers cracked off the back of it, and then the other one, the MEM trigger broke. So I have a bad relationship with MEM parts. Now, granted, that was 100 years ago. Metal injection molded has came a long way. But if I can have my choice of having billet or, another forging or something like that, I would rather go that. So like on my MPA, everything on it is billet. There is no metal injection molding, nothing. Staccato does not use any metal injection molding parts. So when you're looking at a Prodigy and you're looking at a Staccato, there is a reason one is more expensive. So there you go. I'm not saying it's, end all be all. I'm just saying you have to pay for better made parts. Same with the car engine, things like that. You want billet forged pistons, or forged pistons, they're going to cost more than stock pistons. So it's the same scenario. You want a nicer watch, they're going to cost more for the craftsmanship or the quality. Yes, you can get anything cheap. Is it going to be the best or, whatever? Maybe not. But I don't want to buy something and have to put parts into it to make it better. Because by the time you've done that, you could have bought a Staccato or an MPA. That's the way I look at it. But Chris is fixing to have his shot. I think the Holosun, I've been asked about this, the Holosun EPS, they offer two, the carry and the regular. I think it's a great option. I am pretty much, and I was going to talk about that soon, but I'm pretty much a closed emitter guy now. I don't have them on every gun, but for the future, I'm probably only going to be buying closed emitters going forward. There's a lot of benefits there. You don't have an open emitter where you can get ice, water, mud, potentially belly lint, any of that kind of crap in there. If it gets on the back window, you can hold it while you're shooting it and just wipe it with your thumb. If anything got on there, blood, sweat, tears, whatever. So I'm pretty much dominantly closed emitter now. That's just my opinion, and I think the Holosun EPS is a great option. I've looked through them. They look great. Don't see any problem with them. I have not shot the 4.25 Bull Armory. I've only shot the 3 point whatever it was, and I think they're great guns. The only thing knock that I have against them, they do have MEM parts, some, not all, and they have proprietary mags. That's what kills it for me because I have so many other 2011s. If I bought a Bull Armory, I have to use their mags in that gun only. And that's what I hate about it. I would probably have a Bull Armory if they took regular mags. So for the money, it's probably better to save and get the Staccato Pete. Yes, I would agree with that. That's kind of where I was going with that. Aluminum versus steel frame depends on what you're going to do with it. If you're recoil sensitive, I would recommend the steel frame. I am not. I carry my P, and it's the full-size P with the comp, so it's 5.3 inches with the comp. It's a big boy, and I carry an appendix. And I prefer the aluminum because it is easier to carry. If you're recoil sensitive, I would say get the steel. There is a 5-ounce difference between the aluminum and the steel. 5 ounces. Well, ounces equal pounds. So can I carry a steel P? Yeah, I could. I've carried a steel 45 forever. So it's not that big of a deal, but over time with your light, your dot, loaded mag, it does add up. Is the EPS carry a direct replacement for the 507K? No. Or yes, I'm sorry, it is. It is. Yep. Same footprint. As long as it's a K, it is the same footprint. So yes, it is. And if I had a small micro pistol, I would definitely have the EPS carry, not the full size. Like Bald God, I would get the carry version. But we're 7 minutes over. Let's shut this down and let Chris have his chat. But I appreciate y'all so much. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that after the chat, please leave comments. I will get back with you. Really appreciate everyone. It means so much. And if you do want to sign up for Threat Cadres class, the last chat, the link's there. You can go in and sign up for it. On the notes, put BJGG or Big Johnson or whatever. And if you come to the class, I'm bringing gifts. I'm going to be giving away some cool stuff. Not cheap stuff, cool stuff. So I will have a box of goodies. But anyway, I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So y'all got to carry on. Take care, everyone.